So one of the first lists that I like to pull is Tired Landlords. Now, Tired Landlords is a great one because you can hit a gold mine if you find someone who has an abundance of property that wants to downsize. So sometimes you'll find someone who has a whole portfolio, but they're tired of maintaining it. They're tired of dealing with the tenants. They're tired of dealing with the toilets and taxes and everything in between. So they just want to be done. They want to retire and they just want to get rid of their whole portfolio. So you get one of those, you could be doing pretty well because there could be multiple properties involved, and it's a win-win for everybody. So the difference with that, though, is they don't obviously all want to sell, and a lot more of them, want the most that they can get unless they're facing some kind of personal distress, and they usually take a bit more follow-up. So I'm going to show you, we're going to do a screen share. I'm going to jump in as far as how to find tired landlords, how to pull the list. Later, we'll get into skip tracing them and how to pull their phone numbers. But right now, I'm just going to show you how to find this list so you can go ahead and get your first list of tired landlords. So again, we're on batch leads. That's the one I recommend using. Propelio is good too. There's a few other ones, but we're going to stick with batch leads because I think they're the best one, just because they keep everything in the same platform. You don't have to use a bunch of other tools. So for example, what we're going to do is, say we want to do Austin, Texas. You type that in. So just pretty much whatever you want. And the cool thing here is you come down to quick filter. They actually have a lot of ones already set up for you. So you can see here, I have my custom ones that I've created, but they also have their own. So they have expired listings, unknown equity, free and clear, corporate owned, absentee, MLS, inherited, pre-foreclosures, cash buyers, tired landlords, vacant, tax default and liens. I believe they have some other ones too. But the cool thing about that is you just click that, type in the city, and you're going to get their list already generated. And you can even use it to start building your buyers list too if you're going to be wholesaling the deal. So that's that. Now, if you want to create your own, which is what I do and recommend doing, mostly for the broad one, and then just kind of fine tune, make sure they are the ones I want to do. You'll come here, you'll go to filter, and then really just click all these different drop downs on what you're trying to get. So we'll go owner occupancy status. So the first one we're going to go through tired landlords and what that looks like. So we'll go, they'd be absentee owned and in-state, out-of-state. Usually out-of-state people have better luck with because it's a lot harder for them to manage it once they have a really good property management company. It's much more of a headache if they're not closer. So you can go here, you can go property vacant. If you want to do the vacant list, we'd go to that one. We're just going to do absent owner, high equity. So we're going to do residential. Single fam. You can do the bedrooms, baths, all that good stuff. If you want to get into it. Really fine tuning what you're looking for is key. You can always play with these and try different ones out. But I typically leave these blank, or I'll do minimum 2 bedrooms, really depending on what my search parameters are. I'll do 1,200 square feet. Now, year built, I want to be typically at least 15 years old. And that's when there's probably going to start being some damage. So you'll type in that year, so it's 2022. So you type in the whole year. So you just would go to the max. So we'll start with just 2012, so it's 10 years back. Go there. Typically 10 years, not too much damage. Once you get to 20 is when you start seeing some stuff. So we can go 2002. Usually roofs need to be replaced in about 20 years or so. That's one of the big ones. Things need to be updated and changed. Now this one I like to do, and the reason I like to make this myself, even though they have one, is I like to make sure that you put MLS not on the market. So I'm looking for off-market deals. I'm not looking for stuff that's already listed with the realtor, because more than likely there's not going to be much skin on the bone there. So the realtor has to get their commissions. It's just a whole bunch more hoops to drive through. So we did that. You got pre-foreclosures and auctions. That's a whole nother one you could do. Ownership info. So this is one I like to do. I like to do individual. Tired landlord, you can do company owned too, but as far as skip tracing it, it's always a lot easier just to find the individual than it is to go ahead and try to find the LLC or the company. It's always a bit more legwork, but if you're willing to do it, go for it. Definitely, it's a bluer ocean. There's less people taking those extra steps. So years of ownership, I like to do at least 5 years. And if they just bought it, they're not going to be very likely to want to sell it. Sale date doesn't really matter. So we have the 5 years. This one's lien, bankruptcy, divorce. So all different types of liens that can be placed on the property. That's a good indicator that's distressed when they're having financial issues. You can do valuation equity. And so again, what we're doing here, this is absentee owner with high equity, 30%. Mortgage, cash buyers, we're not messing with that one. And you can even get into the demographics here, which is really cool. But just for this one, this example we're going to go through here, this is one of the lists that I recommend doing. So absentee out of state. So this is the Tired Landlord list. They have some equity in the property. They've had it for a little bit of time. So they're probably very likely to start having some headaches because one, they're not close by. And two, they have some money in it and they might be wanting to cash out and move it into a bigger deal, do a 1031. You never know. So that's why it's always a good list to hit up. And as I mentioned previously, they could have a whole portfolio of listings. So that's another reason it's good to try to hit the Tired Landlords. So then you just hit apply. You'll see here we have 329. That just went down to 223. So instead of trying to market to 329 people, now we have listed just 223 people. So that's a heck of a lot less money that you would spend if you try to go broad with it. And there's, from what we typed in, it's likely that they may want to sell. So that's one of them here. And then all you would do is you'd select all. We'll go add. Go to create new list. Tired Landlord, Austin. I have to do the date. I created them as well just to help myself stay organized. You can do tags. Sometimes I'll do like Austin, Round Rock, San Antonio, the name of the town, but it's not necessary really. I usually just pull them by the list. You just hit save. And then boom, saving 223 properties, Tired Landlord. You'll get a notification once it's complete. So the other reason I like this is we'll go over that in the next video, but you can actually skip trace them right on the same platform. You don't even have to leave and go to another one, which when I was using propstream, I have to get it there. Then I have to bring it back to batch. And it was just extra steps and extra time wasted. So now you'll just go make sure it went over. Sometimes it does take a bit, but you'll just go to properties. And you'll see all the ones here that you have. See, it's only displaying 1 of 15, so you can do 100. All right, and then you're going to go to filter them. We're going to do the list that we just made. Tired Austin. I'm just going to go to the one list it's already on. And then bam. So these are all the ones here that we just pulled. So you can see they're all out of state owners. All the properties here are in Austin. And they're also individuals, not corporate, which makes it a heck of a lot easier to find their contact info. So the next step would be to go ahead. You have all these, they're good. You can export them if you're going to skip trace them somewhere else. You can play with the tables and everything else you have in here. But that's it. So now we have that list. Anything else you want to do that, you'll just go to actions. You can skip trace it from here. Literally just click of a button, you skip trace it. We'll go through it again in another video just to break these two up. So it's easier if you have to go back through them. You can add them to a campaign if you're doing your campaigns through batch. You're having a batch dialer if you're using batch dialer.